All right, Pro Dumpster Diver back at it again. So we're going to do the intro video and the actual acid set. This is 4 pounds here of crushed CPU chips. As you can clearly see, we do have some fingers in here, which is very good. But we also do have the back end of CPU chips. These are the pinless ones here. And what's going to happen is when we filter these out after a month, we're going to have all those gold pieces coming off, which are going to be very, very good right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have our pitcher here that I got from the thrift store today right now, and I paid $1.99 for it. We're going to put our 4 pounds of CPU chips in there, okay? But we also have to make sure that once we do that, okay, hey, perfect, okay? Now what's in there, remember, is 4 pounds of crushed CPU chips. Now I couldn't put it in this container because as you can clearly see, there's a lot of cracks in this right now and damage. And the last thing I need is if I put it in this container, it would leak and it's not big enough. So that's the reason why we put this in a pitcher. Now what I have to do is I have to shake this up because I need everything to actually go in there, okay? And now if you look at it, it's completely covered, which is beautiful. Now here's the problem. Once you have this there for over a month and it goes through a lot of heat, a lot of this may begin to evaporate, okay? And I have to say that because I haven't said that before. It may begin to evaporate. So if this does evaporate, I'm going to end up losing a lot of this. So I want to make sure that I at least cover a centimeter above it so that if half a centimeter over the month goes out, it's still completely covered and it will still actually be done. So if I look at this, it is... Okay, so I'm going to tilt it a little bit, see if I still see the chips. I absolutely do. I want to tilt this again. I still see the chips, so that's not good. I have to be able to actually make sure that that is covered at least, okay? Now, we are going to take some uric acid out of one of our containers that we actually know has already been there. So we're going to put this to the side. We're going to put this here. We're going to put this here, okay? And we're going to go ahead and get some... Was that on me? Damn. Little bastard, got me. All right, good check, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our little measuring cup, okay? And we're gonna take a little bit from this here, just a little bit, not too much. I don't wanna take too much at all, okay? Just a little bit, and I'm gonna pour that on top. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, scoop that off and pour that on top. Okay, and that way I know that if it does get too hot outside, that the sun, which will end up giving it heat, because again in Philadelphia we got 90 degrees there. In New Jersey it can get up to 80. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have that. So we wanted that to at least get up to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover it down. Okay, now the interesting part about this picture is you actually have the strain part here. And then you actually have this part here, which is pour. Now, with the nozzle there, and I'm going to show this to you here, I need to make sure that none of them are there, or I have to wrap it in plastic or put it up. What I can do is I can actually put it at this part here to make sure water doesn't get in. And then push that up a little bit right now, which is very good. Okay, so now water won't be able to get in there. Okay, which is very good. Now, some people are like, oh, it's $1.99. I'll pay you $1.99 for this whole thing. Like, no, this is going to be worth a lot of money right now because you have 4 pounds of those pinless CPU pieces in here. And if I tilt this, you can actually see the fingers and everything there. Now, the good part is I'm going to start using a lot of these containers because I can actually swirl it around myself and move these without actually using a bubbler. And if it does evaporate too much, guess what? I can actually get rid of that myself there. And that's how we do it. Now, I got to make sure I cover this piece back down. Okay? Cover that back down there. I still have that empty part. Okay? And from the previous video, I did want to show that. We are still here putting our gold through here. It's filtered up a bit more right now, which is very, very good. All of that is our gold there, but around it is probably only about 1 gram or 2 grams or so, not much. And then we're going to take our filter paper there, and then we're going to spray around it to make sure we got... Actually, you know what? I can do that now. I'll do that in front of all of you guys right now, okay? I will go ahead and actually do that. I will, because I want to make sure that that's done correctly. I will go ahead and get my gloves because a lot of you guys are like, your hands are going to turn yellow. And you know what? You're right. Your hands actually will turn yellow. You see some yellow here? You see some yellow here? This is why we use PPE. Okay? We're going to use the gloves. Okay? Make sure you guys don't rob me in the comments. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our filter pieces here and we're going to put them in there so we know that it's time to get that done. Okay? And I am using gloves. For those of you who say he's not using gloves, I am using gloves. Okay? I am using gloves, I'm sure. And we're going to take this and we're going to pour this in there. Okay? And let that sit because remember, this does contain a lot of water. Okay? We're going to take those pieces there and we're going to put them in there as well. Okay? And we're going to let that sit. Now, that's going to take a bit of time to go through. Okay? Now, another thing is, in this container, we still have pieces. We got to get rid of all of that there. Okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour that here just to get that out. Okay? Get that out. All right? Now, another thing is, I want to make sure I clean the top of this glove off because I do still have some liquid on this. Okay? I want to make sure I clean that glove off as best as I can. And I just got some water. And what I did is that I put the glove in water and I got a lot of gold in there. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to pour that here. All right, just to make sure that all of that is in the container. I don't want to overflow it till it goes around the end, but I do want all of it to be in there. Now, I will be honest, this may take overnight to get done. I'm not rushing this here. Okay, let me bring this down a little bit. Let me put this over here. All right, I'm not rushing this. Okay, but what I do need to do is I need to get the gold out of these containers here. Okay, now I could pour a little bit of water in this just to make sure that all of that goes to it. And what we're going to have is we're going to have this container with liquid and we've got to pour that in there with a time delay piece. Okay, very, very simple, but we're going to give it time to get through. Okay, this is a process that I do not want to rush because if I do, I mess it up and it becomes a problem. Okay, so we've got that in there. We're going to let that sit. And then after a while, I may put it in a container with some heat. And actually, I might actually just get a Bunsen burner and try to burn off some of it. Not even burn off some of it, just to heat it up right now because I'm planning on taking that to New York Tuesday if I'm not working, and they can go ahead and actually melt all of that for me there, which is definitely good. And we're going to take some of the reverse electroplates too to actually melt that up. Okay. Whew. All right, it's getting done. All right, look at this. Look at this. Let me bring this down. Come on. Come on, let me show you. Come on. Okay, perfect. You see that? So I put the liquid in there and swirled it around. You see all that gold in there just sitting in there? That's a lot of gold in there, okay? That right there is a lot of gold just sitting. If I move it, yeah, there we go. You can actually see it, right? That's a lot of gold just sitting in there. And what I got to do in order to get that up is I got to spray around this container here to make sure that I got all the gold off of that. Okay, see some of that gold is up there. I got to get all of that gold off and do that the right way and pour that up. Man, that's a lot of gold in there. Look at that, beautiful. All right, that's what we got to do. Oh boy. All right, guys. Photo for dive and making it happen. Making it happen. All right, it's getting a bit windy, but that's fine. Let the wind go. We're making money over here. All right, I'm gonna let that sit. Let it do what it got to do. And to be honest, I could actually put this inside right now. It is very windy, but I'm not worried about the wind. This has a lot of weight, So the wind's not really going to be shaking it like that. So I'm not really worried at all. All right. That's it. Pro dumpster diver. Have a good day. We're doing that. We're straining these two bad boys out. We're doing good. I'm feeling rain. Damn, you little bastard. Ah, it is what it is. Frick. Yeah, let's look up. It's looking like it's gonna rain. Damn, man, why you gotta do this to me? It's okay though, nothing but fresh water. I'm just hoping the rain doesn't come down heavy where it pushes some of this gold out. All right, poor dumpster diver. I'll be back. I will be back.